we end up on this game. I'm still a little worn out from the last one, so bear with me.
I might lose my voice if this goes to 5.
It's all right. There's nothing coming up in the next couple of months.
What do you what do you think they do about Shen? So right now, Gnar, Rek'Sai, Tahm Kench, Vlad Kassadin, Elise or Shen, because it's been either of those for Splyce. When Splyce were red side in game 1, they banned Shen and they won that game relatively cleanly.
Come on, Shen ban here. Like, Splyce, don't get baited by the fact that you've beaten it once now. I understand what you're doing, but Unicorns, I guess if they're still going to pick the Sivir, then Splyce have to first rotation. So it's Shen or Sivir that they get on this rotation for Unicorns, and the other one is going to Splyce.
Okay, so trade.
Saying that though, Elise, if they want to put pressure on the jungle matchup here, but then they risk giving over both Shen and Sivir. I think
risky.
also
That's risky.
Moves Gragas has been better than almost everything else we've seen from him.
So, what will the answer be? Sivir, so that at least denies the Shen plus Sivir. In theory, Wunder could run Shen now, but then what does Trashy run into it?
I would quite like, on this rotation, to go Shen Gragas. Get the fight starting for Trashy. He could also go Elise, but you know Move will react with the Gragas. Splyce were in this situation in, I believe it was game 1 or 2, and they just picked the Lucian. They picked Lucian in this rotation both games, but in game 2 they picked Nidalee with it, and I don't really
The Nidalee did not have that impact. Like, Trashy, yes, he had a CS advantage, but as the analyst desk was also alluding to, the lanes were not able to take advantage of Nidalee's ability to push in and apply pressure. So Elise or Gragas is something that we'll be looking at.
Gotta take the Shen here.
Oof.
This
Again
is
with the
overconfident if they don't.
I mean, look, the Gangplank eventually worked.
Yeah, 60 minutes into the game.
Because Shen teleported away to give kills elsewhere. Or does Wunder pull a rabbit out the hat and do something that's not Gangplank in this game?
Wunder's played the likes of Fiora in the playoffs as well, so maybe he wants something else. The GP is there. It is a fine matchup. It theoretically does well in the late game and is able to control the waves as you push in. So I don't mind it, but Trashy has shown us that he is better on the Shen side of the Shen GP matchup than Wunder is on the GP side for 2 games, for the majority of both games as well.
Yeah, and you also have to call out like all of the micro things. Vizicsacsi killed so many powder kegs, and yes, Wunder had a good game in game number 3. You can argue is because of all of the inconsistent calling that allowed that to happen.
And it's very rare that I would say this for a team that are currently in the lead in a series, but I really hope Splyce aren't doing what H2K did against Splyce, which was refusing to adapt. And if they don't adapt properly in the way that they play in-game, this one could be another tough one. So we got Trundle down in the support. We've got the Gangplank, and we're looking to counter-pick mid.
Luckily, the Elise plus Gangplank top can do very well into Shen plus what we're expecting to be Gragas.
Yep.
So that like 2v2 duo is very strong on the condition that Trashy lands his cocoon. And then all of a sudden you can, give that Gangplank a very strong advantage.
If we don't see the Gragas, we may very well see the likes of the Hecarim. We don't see it all that much here in Europe anymore, but with the combination of the Shen with the Sivir would pair well for team fights. I don't know whether I want to see Move play Nidalee, I'm going to be honest.
Tell me why.
I feel like Move is already such an inconsistent jungler at times that I feel like a jungler that is based on carrying alone and does require strong lanes that are winning, well, we're going to find out now. I don't really feel like this is the confident pick. I feel like Move has to be, and he has been counter-jungling, but I really don't like this for Move.
So the advantage here, the lanes are more in favor. At the very least, Shen should be okay against Gangplank. Sivir plus Bard are going to be able to shove in against Lucian Trundle. And then obviously the Karma mid. It's the first time this series. The one thing I am seeing, another sort of lack of team damage if Sivir goes down. Right? Like, yes, Sivir can do a lot and does a lot of AoE, etc., etc.
Karma does have a surprising amount of damage. Pre-20 to 25 minutes, like, Karma will hurt every time she hits, but, you know, the later you go in a game, can be difficult to get the damage down. Splyce have themselves a Malzahar to round out the composition, so again, a little bit about that push in the middle lane. Should be able to at least handle the Karma, but it's fairly a skill matchup. It's not so much one that either dominates. And that means that Move now doesn't quite have that push in the middle lane the entire time. Like, it will mean Sencux has to trade his mana out to push back in response, but this is going to be a real important one for Move to get a good start and transition into helping his lanes as well.
I think that's where I'm going to be looking as well, is like, how do the rest of the lanes interact, especially Veritas and Hylissang on Bard, because Hilly's Bard, we've seen it a bunch. 6 games. You know, he's got a decent win record on that champion, but it's not like, it's not amazing. You know, it's not something that I think of and actually associate with Hylissang.
Yeah, that's fair. But then Mikyx just played his Bard, and that's Mickey's champion, right?
Left a lot to be desired, right?
0, 8, and 7 in that game. So we'll see whether Hilly can maybe make it his own.
Well, we'll find out. Hylissang has to make it his own. The Unicorns of Love, if they do not pick up a win here, they will once again fall at the final hurdle. Ladies and gentlemen, if you really want them to win, send them your support, send them your love, both in the crowd and online with that hashtag UOL win. Or will the young upstarts of Splyce debut on the international stage over the Unicorns of Love? We're loading up for Game 4 of the Regional Qualifier Finals.
In game after a 60-minute epic game. Yeah, epic to describe the game time, perhaps not the level of play in that, but nevertheless, it is the hand we were dealt.
The entertaining.
Yeah, it was nice. You got some 90s references in there, you got some, you missed some.
I'm just very happy I got to do the Spice Girls, Splyce Boys merge. I've literally been sitting on that all split, and I decided to save it for an epic moment, and I feel that was the most epic I'm gonna get.
Someone just like...
Someone got hit by that javelin toss.
I was going to say.
They got hit by that javelin toss.
To give people some extra behind the scenes, if you have something like that, this is one thing Trevor did, is he saved that one for a long time. Because if you tell the other casters what your line is, suddenly there's like a time limit on it.
Yep.
You with your Smitty J, the Deficio sat on for like 3 weeks trying to use it.
It was not the most innovative of one-liners, regardless of that fact. I got to say it, so na-na-na-na-na-na.
Yeah, Deficio was so mad. I wish you guys could have seen that. We'd have had a camera on Deficio.
Hey, look at this. Mickey and Kobbe, they put a ward down this time round.
They learned.
But they're in a matchup that's going to be very tough. Sivir and Bard into Lucian Trundle.
Kobbe already gets hit by the Cosmic Binding.
At the very least, until 6, this will be very challenging.
Yes, it will do. The race is on. Just trade those autos into the wave. You can see Splyce will, for now, have the advantage, but the Ricochet bounces through, suddenly tidies up 4 or 5 minions, and it turns all the way back around. So Trashy, again, we see Shen into Gangplank. 3rd game in a row, and like I said, is this overconfidence by Splyce?
Well, we'll find out, because this time around, Trashy's running Elise. I like the options of Elise plus, you know, Gangplank plus maybe a teleport from Sencux on that Malzahar. 2 teleports on both sides this game, which you've not called out. Also, first Infernal Drake, you know, right at the gates in terms of the first dragon. And I think crucially, if you look at the minimap, all 3 lanes for the Unicorns are pushing towards Splyce. So where does Move go? What does Move do? Wunder can always back away to minions and a barrel, and Trashy wisely decides not to engage.
Trashy's just being annoying in this lane as well. Moving up to the barrel when Wunder moves away from it to the point where Wunder's out of parlay range. So it means he can easily clear the barrel, despite moving past the minion wave, because he hadn't actually aggroed the minions by auto-attacking Wunder in a while. It means Trashy just sneaks up, takes out the barrel, moves back away. So you can see just how familiar with the matchup Vizicsacsi is. And now 3 games in a row on stage. Real good performance for him.
He's just going to magical journey out to safety as the wave is being shoved in. Big CS difference. Sencux under pressure in that mid lane. He's got about a wave and a half or 2 waves to farm. And we'll see how well he can last hits. Still missing just a couple. This is a terrifying matchup. I actually learned much earlier in the year. Karma into Malzahar. For anybody that watches the additional content streams. I got absolutely bodied on our April Fool's show.
You were playing against GBM.
It didn't go well for me. And right now, Wunder going to enlist the help of the Winions. Flashes forward, Thunderlords as well. Helping out, but here comes Move. Minions coming in to help out, remember, Move. Oh, the barrel popped way too early, just for the additional movement speed. Flash has already been used by Wunder. The Cocoon flashed away from, but the burn, the tick, the kill not secured. Wunder survives with his life, all flashes blown.
Everybody flashes, nobody dies this early on. Double TP is going to come out, but Trashy has actually kind of just maybe made this a little more difficult for Wunder. They were trying to push it all the way out to get it as fast as it bounces, but it does mean Chachi will be able to absorb a lot of that farm. It will bounce back for Wunder, it'll be fine in the end of all things, but still, Wunder will look at that and be like, whew.
The micro decision making, and immediately within 5 minutes, both Move and Trashy top lane. So we had theorized that was going to happen, and it has. Good boomerang from Veritas will push Kobbe away so he actually doesn't engage. And Mikyx going for a good chomp trade onto Hylissang. But overall, Summoner's down, so it's the next gank we want to watch for. Will Trashy or Move decide to pay a visit up top? And will it set up either top laner for a strong play? Barrel gets popped. Very good shield there from Chachi.
Yeah, and Chachi decided there, he was like, okay, I can stop this barrel, or I can auto Wunder and actually deal damage in response. Chooses to take the trade there. Kobbe is kind of struggling every time we come down to this bottom lane. Not actually struggling much in farm, but when it comes to trading health away, it is tough. Trashy hanging just on the edge. We'll show now.
He's just going to brute force this one. A show of force, I feel. Because of the amount of pressure Kobbe and Mikyx are under. They've been shoved in deep a lot.
I'm pretty sure it'd already been spotted out, though, on the wards that Hylissang had placed a little earlier on. And he's, again, being tracked fairly heavily throughout this early game.
If nothing else, it relieves pressure from Kobbe and from Mikyx. Looking at Trashy, he's not even behind on CS yet. Still equal with Move's Nidalee. And it was around 4 or 5 minutes that Trashy accelerated his CS when he played Nidalee earlier in the day. So let's find out if Move can do the same. He's just going to steal away this Raptor camp. So step 1 in the farm a lot with the Cougar plan. Didn't really know, yeah.
It's okay, it's fine.
Had to just stop. We're 4 games in.
Not
all of them are going to land.
Game.
Not all of them are going to land. So.
You miss every shot you don't.
Yeah. Some shots shouldn't be taken though. Like that was one of them. In the middle lane, shots are going to get taken. Cocoon and Javelin toss available.
Level 6
Sencux gets pounced on. Here comes a cannon barrage. Move is the target. First blood to Wunder.
Both top laners use their ult, and what that means inevitably is Wunder stays around. Cancelled his TP though. Chachi comes out of the lane, but it's Splyce that come out ahead from that. They get the first blood, and they get the push into the tower now. Chachi's going to lose a bunch of experience and minions up in the top lane.
Oh, a little bit of pressure on Kobbe and the tower. But I think important to note, Stress, that this game, Trashy has been everywhere Move has been.
Yeah.
Up until, a lot of damage onto Kobbe. Boomerang goes out. Got to be so careful. We'd anticipate Trashy to sort of read and counter gank and react to his opponents. This is the first time that we're truly seeing it multiple times in the first 10 minutes.
Well, that's what we normally expect from Trashy. That is his play style. And you know, this is the aggressive play here. Exileh gets the Shen shield, but it's Move that needed it in reality. Exileh would have been very low without it, though, still.
And props to Trashy, whether that was predicted or whether that was just 2 champions stacked, throwing the Cocoon out, turning their attention to Move instead of Exileh, who obviously received the Shen shield. So, very good heads-up play. It allows Splyce to get a kill on the dude that realistically needs or wants it more than anybody else.
Yeah, really does. Important note here, the itemization. Different build from Kobbe this time. Going back to what he did in game 1, looking for the Ghost Blade. So the more standard Lucian build. Reason for this, you look over at the Unicorns. Nidalee's not a tank, Karma's not a tank, Bard not really a tank. He does get health a little later. So again, only the Shen is going to be the one that he has to chunk through. Laughing at me.
I like that, not really a tank.
Well, not really. He gets a little tankiness, but not a whole lot.
Down in the bottom lane. Hylissang's taking a magical journey. Tempered Fate, and Mikyx tries to juke it. Unfortunately, will get caught out. Now, Kobbe's going to go toe-to-toe. Teleport from Exileh onto the backline. Kobbe's going to flash over, looking for support. Here comes Splyce. Cocoon on to move, but they've lost one already. With Kobbe down, can they get more? Mikyx's looking for move. That's a big shield from the Defiance. Mikyx loses his life. All of a sudden, Splyce are running for theirs. Red buff is up. Flash available for Sencux. Nether Grasp is there. Cocoon onto Exileh. Who is the target? It's Exileh once again. Boomerang Blade comes out. Nobody dies. 150 hit points for Exileh. Cannon Barrage is available for Wunder, but he might need it for himself. Spirit's Refuge blocks all of the auto attacks. Wunder's going to get some damage down.
He has to flash.
Minions flashes away. Trashy can flash as well if he wants to. Decides against it, and Unicorns get themselves 2 kills.
Trashy didn't want to flash there because he knows if he holds his summoners and he's also got his ultimate, it means Unicorns will be way stronger the next time they look for a fight. Sencux is going to do what Malzahar can do here and set up the Baron, the Dragon, sorry, the Infernal Drake to get this out. I was trying to come up with something a little funny with the pets that are all taking down the Dragon, but it's too long into the series and my brain's not working.
I think we both need to play it safe.
Yeah, I know.
Here and out, which is what Splyce want to do if they want to go to Worlds.
Yes, and not do this by pushing up in the bottom lane. They had a couple of wards there in the jungle as well, but Kobbe and Mikyx way too far up, not really respecting the Unicorns, but in came the turnaround. Move would drop fairly low off this and ends up getting the Karma Shield. Mikyx kind of getting baited into the kill there. Exileh just enough to save him from that TP, and then Splyce had to back away from the tower.
Luckily, Sencux survives with his life. Despite not getting those Malefic Visions down, unable to pick up a kill, we jump back to live, and all of a sudden, Wunder's in trouble. Teleport coming down from Sencux. Exileh and Trashy, they decide against the fight. Teleport will complete here for Sencux. So very important. Both mid laners no TP. Exileh's, however, about a third of the cooldown has already ticked over.
Oof, again, another messy game out from these two teams. It's Kobbe and Mikyx pushing too far up in the bottom side, then top lane just constant fighting from Wunder and Trashy. And it's Wunder that's the one that has the kill from that mid lane play that we saw a few minutes ago. But Sencux has been all around the map, and he's down CS because of it.
Look at all of that vision. Observer's just toggling the wards. Trashy's actually going to find Exileh. Stand United's being channeled. No flash for Trashy. He gets taunted up. This should be a kill. Repels up, drops to a minion, manages to survive. Not just yet though, as Trashy goes forward. He's under tower. Tempered Fate will not interrupt Sencux because his passive blocked it, I believe. This Malefic Visions. Shield will not kill him. The minions, the Voidlings, they're running for more. They're taken down, and Vizicsacsi escapes with his life. Here comes Kobbe, looking at Exileh. Not going to get the damage just yet. And Splyce, they get nothing in return.
You are absolutely correct. Spell immune from the Malzahar passive was just enough to hold through the Bard ultimate. And Unicorns, they picked up Trashy. They lost move, but have defended mid. Teleport comes up top lane from Trashy to get in there against Wunder.
Fight, fight, fight. Vizicsacsi's going to look at Wunder. Gets the Shadow Dash taunt. Let's keep this up, boys. Wunder's not going to be able to return damage at Spirit's Refuge. Gives a little ginger love tap on that parlay.
Oh, dear.
And Vizicsacsi, he's not stomping his lane, but he's in control of it, dealing with Wunder.
Fight, Trashy, fight is apparently the chant going out in that top lane. It's a fairly universal chant, but Trashy now just gets another barrel. Oh, I wish we had like somebody that was tracking that. Yeah. I really wish we did.
We'll have to check if there is a way to do that.
I believe there isn't.
Not just yet? Okay.
I remember there was some technical speak about how there are certain things that don't count as an event in the game, and that's why...
Stats benders need to make it happen.
They do. I'm sure I'll get told whether that was true or false, as Trashy gets told that he shouldn't be in mid lane for this. Nice repel onto the minions, but Cosmic Binding comes in, Trashy flash into the attempted kill. There was a spell immune, you can see it just underneath the announcer text there. Just enough to keep Sencux alive. You can see how low he was. Would have been able to keep the rest of the Unicorns a little bit healthier if they hadn't done that, but nice little play.
Net gain, 1 kill apiece. Both jungles going down. Itemization being picked up, so Morellonomicon, Essence Reaver, Eye of the Watchers on the side of the Unicorns. Sightstone and Lucy Boots for Mikyx's Trundle. Ghostblade, Morellonomicon as well. So like those first spikes have been hit on both sides. And I'm going to come back to what we were mentioning earlier.
Okay.
In their first professional year as a League of Legends organization, and from Challenger to 1 game away from Worlds, Splyce are on the precipice of an international appearance. Because of course they qualified last year as Dignitas EU. You mentioned this much earlier in the day. It was a trying series.
Oh, that mouse series.
Where, you know, they didn't really know what they were doing. Splyce picks up a young organization in spring, and the whole org has been very outspoken about like growing and building the right talent, you know, finding synergy. And that's come together in summer of this year.
Yeah, it absolutely has, man. That mouse series was back when Dragon just gave you like numeric stacks.
Yep.
And would stack up, and it just was all about who could take 5th dragon. We had something like 25 dragons in 5 games.
I think we had
easily.
more dragons in that series than the whole Challenger series split.
I think so, something ridiculous like that. But Splyce grew through spring to be, you know, a team that at times looked like they were a contender, but then just failed. Ooh.
So much damage, but Malefic Visions, minions, the shield comes out, Sencux is in trouble, the poison, the tick, the damage! They trade 1 for 1. It's not done yet as Jungler's going toe-to-toe. Stand United's coming out. Wunder can't just help just yet. Trashy won't find the taunt. Trashy's already used his flash. He's running for support, and Stand United is secured, at the very least, or used. So that's a small victory.
Wunder used his ultimate again. It's the top lane ultimate trade coming out from here. Hylissang wants to try and get onto Mikyx, try and bind him against that wall, but can't quite get it. And Move on no health is going aggressive, but look, it's because he's got the wards around the jungle. He knows, and the ping actually went down. Hang on, here's the bot lane.
Tempered Fate, this time flashed away. Mikyx realizing he's in trouble. Teleport was cancelled, so Exiles is on cooldown now.
Yeah, Exiles was the one that was channeled there. Wunder still has his. Chachi's is nearly available, but Splyce have both TPs. And if they drag Unicorns further up this lane towards their tower, that is when Splyce can potentially look to strike. But I don't believe they have a ward in position to actually engage, so it's not really an easy play. This was the engage onto Sencux from Exile. And look, it's all about how many the Voidlings have actually already spawned, so the damage is being dealt onto Exile so significantly for the early onset of this little engage. Move nearly gets away, nearly gets killed, but gets away just in time thanks to that Stand United. Trashy gets out as well.
There's no hesitation here. Cannon Barrage, Stand United, support from the lanes. It's just coming in instantly. Now in the bottom lane, Mikyx and Trashy, they've caught themselves Hylissang, but wait, maybe they are the ones that have been caught. Starting to peel away because Exile had roamed down into the river. Mountain Drake is the target, and it looks like Splyce are going to give this one up.
The problem is, I think the reason that everything is so go, go, go with all of the ults, all of the, you know, teleports coming out, I don't feel like either team is actually planning for the next 2, 3, 4 minutes of the game. It's not looking at what are we doing next, it's who's out of position, who are we trying to fight, how are we trying to catch people out. And this is something that really went away in the top level of League. You cannot afford to just live in the moment in the game. You have to be looking forward, looking for set plays using summoners, looking for the next objective, the next advantage, not just what is in front of you right now.
And that's something that Splyce can do pretty well now. 2 teleports, Cannon Barrage up. There's a window of opportunity where Exile in the mid lane cannot respond. The only frustration, of course, is that there's no objective just yet. Dragon was secured. It was a mountain, locked down by the Unicorns of Love. And despite Splyce being in 1,000 gold deficit, because of the CS differences in mid, jungle, and ADC, however minor, it does mean that Splyce, they're still scaling up. You know, they want their 2-item spike on Lucian. They want Wunder to get his Ghost Blade as well. And then they want to look to go toe-to-toe, I feel.
We'll see if Splyce, with that Infernal Drake, can kind of hold on and look for some of these different skirmishes. Exile wants to go again.
He does, but he's going to have support this time around. Hylissang's coming up from the river. Stand United from Exileh as well. Flash away. Shadow Dash under the tower. The tower is removed from the engage. Nethergrasp will help out, but there's no follow-up damage. Here comes Wunder. He finished the teleport. Powder Kick's not going to get popped just yet. Manages to escape. Wunder's rooted in place. Trashy's looking for Chachi. Wunder gets dropped down shortly as Move pounces forward. Exileh sinks in the killing blow. 6 kills to 3, and Unicorns are winning the skirmishes.
Again, the Unicorns, they're happy to live in the moment. They have trained for 2 seasons for this. Chachi, again on Shen, is turning these fights around. Now they push for the mid tower. It's only Mikyx and Trashy. They cannot defend against this properly. There's just the 2 of them. They're going to try. That tower will go down.
Wave clear. Tower as well. Tower first blood. 2 extra kills. A bunch of summoners. And Unicorns have got a strong 3,000 gold lead.
This is the same type of start as the last game for the Unicorns. Again, they're able to get this kind of advantage in the beginning of the game. Exileh constantly trying to go aggressive on Sencux. Sees that he's fairly low on mana, but at this point, Exileh's going aggressive. They know they have the Shen ultimate coming through. Omrecker style Bard ult comes out from Hylissang just to deny the tower for now. Wunder tries to go aggressive. Oh, you're trying to chase a Karma. I'm sorry. That's not really going to happen.
I'm going to change my tone a little bit because my initial feelings when I see that is like, hey, that's Shen. Shen again was let through. I would like to speak to Splyce later and ask them whether they win or lose, why they let Shen through the whole time. And was Shen as important as maybe I feel it is, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's a play that maybe Chachi can't use Stand United to save Exileh's life. But then again, maybe there's no Gangplank either. So,
yeah,
you know, what is the snowball effect of banding that out? Exileh forced to flash away from a gank by Trashy, and the Unicorns is taking a little slower than the previous games, but at 20 minutes, they've stamped authority on the game. Ardent Sensor picked up for Exileh, going all in on the Veritas damage, making sure that Veritas will be able to close out team fights. And in this next sort of 10 minutes of gameplay, his team composition can really enable that sim.
Yeah, it can. And, oh, Trashy, got to be careful. He won't get taken out at this point. That Ardent Sensor, the common build that we see on Karma is, as you said, a lot more about facilitating. It still has damage, a little less than the Randuin, not Randuin, it's Rabadon's build. But this is less about being in the side lane now for Exileh. Yes, he's running TP, but this is more about giving benefit to his entire team. And Veritas, as you said.
Yeah. Making sure that he's going to be the guy to finish things out. Rod of Ages build this time around for Move on his Nidalee, going a little more tanky, a little more AP. I quite like that, because I think they need some additional sources of damage on the team composition. And small misclick there from Veritas. If you're watching the itemization, he picked up another Zeal, instantly undid that, picked up a BF sword. Wunder, no flash. Gonna try run down Chachi, Cannon Barrage. No, just donate another CS. Why not?
Let's get some more gold. Just add to it.
Okay. I want to see now Unicorns apply a little bit more of a measured approach, because they have a team comp that needs to group around Veritas, or wants to, and they have no room for error. They have to win this game to force the deciding game 5, to bring out the Silver Scrapes, to get one more chance at making it to Worlds.
Oh, Wunder, please.
Just too slow on the draw. Dodges a lot of skill shots thanks to the movement speed increase there.
I mean, the funny thing is, it's really on Veritas in that. It's a good block on the barrel. Like, I'm saying Wunder, please. It's just, it's happened so many times that I'm feeling the pain for Wunder in this.
It also, it says a lot about how comfortable Chachi is into the matchup, right? Shen versus GP, it's something that is so heavily discussed. And we'll continue that in a moment. Tempered Fate comes out, finds nobody. Mikyx's able to sidestep, teleports this time round from Sencux into the middle lane. Not used by Wunder yet. Cannon Barrage is available, but has not been fired. The cannons are on hold, as Wunder's going to keep pushing out the bottom lane. Now, Splyce is still 4,000 gold down, and they're trying to defend this top tower. It is a 4v4 because Exileh's pushing mid.
Yeah, Wunder pushing down the bottom lane though, so As you said, cannons are on hold. Run out the guns.
Hylissang gets caught by the cocoon. This time Cannon Barrage comes out. Trashy's in trouble. He's going to get taken down on one last hit by Veritas. The
Kobbe.
damage dealers are falling. Kobbe's dead too. Veritas is running down more. Look at those critical hits. Here comes Wunder. He's not going to be able to do much because he's got no team to fall back on. Exile's chasing forward. Nethergrasp was already used. Call of the Void. Poison. Parlay. Voidlings will not kill Exile. Hylissang's going toe-to-toe. It's a portal combat with Mikyx, but Mikyx going to come away with
Sencux.
Sencux is in trouble. He flashes into the team, gets dropped down. Splyce might get ace. Mikyx's the target. He's running for his life, and Unicorns extend their lead further.
The tower is already down. That's all the Unicorns needed. Are they turning for Baron right now? Look at how healthy Trashy is. This is the Unicorns in the same fashion that they have for the last 2 days, taking absolute control in this game. And this is what the Unicorns need to hang on. This is what the Unicorns need if they want to get to Worlds.
Exceptional fights, fantastic tower dive, and another 23-minute Baron. This is how it all started.
This is how it starts, and the Unicorns go aggressive, and this is a little too early on for this Cannon Barrage to deal massive amounts of damage. You can see Trashy drops a little low. There is damage coming out from it, but remember, this is a team with a Karma on it. The shields are so significant in this fight. Watch this auto from Move. Saves this fight practically as Move denies another barrel from Wunder over the wall. Knew what he was anticipating, and if Move had died, he wouldn't have been able to obviously connect with the spear that inevitably catches onto Sencux and allows them to continue this fight to go down. Hylissang is zoning Mikyx from the side. Mikyx has no mana either, so there's nothing he can offer. The Unicorns take down the tower. The Unicorns might be about to take us to Game 5 if they can do, you know, just enough to close this out.
Well, they've got enough of a lead. They've got Baron on everybody, and they've got a team composition that can win in the next 5 minutes. Without any doubt. And now we just need to see them pushing. On the hunt was used by Veritas. This should allow that bottom inner turret to fall. Yes, it has been chunked down. It'll take another minion wave though, so decent defense here by Splyce. But look at Wunder.
And that was after Wunder connected with a parallel off Trashy.
He got one.
Gets this one.
Trashy doesn't care. Randuin's and Sunfire and Ninja Tabai.
Here's Trashy though, he might care about that.
2v1. Cocoon. Gonna connect just yet. Red buff is the name of the next.
He dodged the Cocoon.
Buys a lot of time. Trashy should get run down though. Red buff. Parlay. Here comes Move. There's the support, and Trashy gets out. How does he do it? Unicorns are everywhere. The tower in the bottom lane gets taken down, and now Veritas uncontested for the time being, trying to drop the inhibitor turret. There's no support. Unicorns, they might get baited into the craziness. Exile's locked in place. Culling goes down. There's not enough damage to kill him.
Dies.
Veritas dies. Bites off more than he can chew. This is crazy. This is chaos. Unicorns find some control. Trashy's going to try get away. Stand United was actually used. I don't know if that was onto Veritas or not, but either way, somehow, Splyce stopped the
still going
pressure for the time being under the tower. And
calm down, Trashy.
oh, come on, I don't have enough breath, people. Vizicsacsi not going to get fought just yet. Finally backs away.
He's opening up such a big window because nobody can kill him. He is so tanky. Unicorns are now just going to take a Mountain Drake the other side. This is going to exacerbate the problem that Splyce have already got. They're nearly 10,000 gold down, just under 9. So, man, Move takes another dragon. 2 Mountain Drakes now on the board. And Unicorns, are they really about to do this? Are they going to put themselves 1 game win away from Worlds? This is how Veritas dies. Pure is just getting hit by the ult.
Yeah, and he flashed at the end. Hashtag not worth.
No.
Definitely not.
Not worth.
All right, so it is a small mistake. All right, small mistake in the grand scheme of things. Unicorns, fantastic game 4. Even mid-game, they answered all of the pressure that Splyce are putting in the mid lane. And Unicorns have taken complete control of the game. What is that tower down in the bottom? It's about 10-15%. 700 hit points out of 3,300. Slowly regenning. But if Unicorns just wait for some minions, they can shove that in and open up Splyce's base.
I was a little unfair, I think, on Move. With regards to the Nidalee, he's had a good game on it. Unicorns have been in control. The dives they've set up by throwing the spears out have been fairly impressive. So coming from Champion Select, I think there were hesitations, but Unicorns have played this game out as they've needed to.
Yeah.
So this actually does change the jungle priority now a little for the potential last game if the Unicorns close it.
I still feel like Shen is such a big deal. I still feel like, especially in the like pre-15, pre-20 minute skirmishes, those stand Uniteds had such a big impact.
Kobbe,
there is some damage being tagged. Kobbe got caught out, forced to summon a heal. I think Hilly just caught him with a Cosmic Binding against the wall. Hilly's Bard this game as well had noticeable impact. We'll touch on that in just a little bit because Unicorns, they're not relenting the pressure. They've got a 9,500 gold lead. They've got Baron coming up in about 2.5, 3 minutes. And pressure on every single day. Look at all of the vision in the jungle. I really cannot praise Unicorn's vision enough because for 4 games in a row, they have littered the jungle. This is a great show. Thank you, gentlemen.
Good. It's nice. We had a moment.
Thing is, it's all series long. It's not just now. You know, every time there has been a player or been a moment, Unicorns have consistently kept up their vision.
And say what you will about the Unicorns and strategy and anything like that. There's a lot of criticism out there. The thing you cannot deny from their performance in the Gauntlet is currently they are a top 4 European team. You cannot deny that. That whatever that says about the region as a whole, you can make your mind up yourself.
Vizicsacsi said yesterday, playing against G2 exposed a lot of our weaknesses. And keep in mind, they went toe-to-toe with G2 in the semifinals.
Yeah.
For a few games. Before G2 could adapt and then, you know, took them out in the last couple. Or at least game 4. And Unicorns have gotten better since then. The question is, have they gotten enough better to not throw a 10,000 gold lead again? Because they did it in game 3.
Yeah,
that's a harsh word, but it is true as well. They had a fantastic advantage, and they got sucked into those crazy, crazy moments.
But with all due respect to the Unicorns on this statement, this is a lot easier comp to kind of like push one team fight with. When you look at like a Sivir compared to an Ezreal and a Ryze, where, you know, Ezreal Ryze is a little bit more like precarious. Ryze is typically okay, but Ezreal, a lot of like maneuvering around a team fight to try and get that damage out. Sivir, you hit W, you hit Q, you auto, you just get everybody in team fight, and now they're gonna go. You do that.
W,
that's how you do it.
Q, you get Kobbe, and you might just get the base. Stand United's being channeled on Hilly. Mikyx locked up against the wall. Trashy gets dropped down. It's a double kill for Veritas. It's a triple kill for Veritas. And Splyce are left with their solo laners. The inhibitor turret in the mid lane is being dropped down. Cannon Barrage will only buy a few seconds of time. And remember, the bottom tower was so low from all of Veritas' work earlier. Unicorns decide Baron may be better.
It's going to be the Baron for the Unicorns with Trashy not available. There's almost no way of Splyce turning this game around like the last game. Credit to Trashy in game 3 for the Baron steal. Not happening in this game. This Baron is dying so quickly, and the Unicorns are on the verge of tying this series and being 1 game away from the World Championships.
For the first time, either the European or North American regional qualifiers this year. Good the last
binding.
2 days, they're so well played.
Really nice binding. Now Veritas, all he has to do is stand and auto-attack whatever's in front of him. It doesn't matter who it is. He's got enough damage to just go straight through them. Take out the inhib, get the Baron after. Unicorns going to game 5.
And, you know, Stress, you were talking about the composition. To narrow it down even more, it just revolves around protecting Veritas. You know, it's lead from the front, make sure Vizicsacsi and move or drawing some attention, and use every spell you can to save Veritas.
And this was the first pick, and had previously been banned in this series. Like, Unicorns banned it in game 3, so that Splyce couldn't ban it, couldn't pick it. That'd be the wrong way of deciding. But anyway, Unicorns want to keep pushing forward now with the Baron up. Veritas is going to the top side, which is not something I agree with so much here. Just because, as you said, you're running 2 TPs. You've got yourself a Karma that can protect the Sivir. It's all about being there and kind of stacking as a group. But nevertheless, the Unicorns are significantly far ahead, like 13,000 gold up. realistically, as long as they don't get killed, they're going to be fine this game. They will win this.
And this will be the closest Unicorns has ever been. We've just gone on after 9 p.m. and Immortals versus Cloud9 will follow this series. If you guys are watching from North America, Unicorns of Love have never been closer to the World Championship than they are right now. Moving a little bit of trouble. Look at this tower will drop.
Wunder.
Wunder takes a lot of damage. Tempered Fate finds nobody, and Stand United still not used. Vizicsacsi holding on to it. Is not going to use it just yet. Very big shields coming out from Exileh. Stand United still not been used. Vizicsacsi.
He's got it. Towers down.
Opens up the base.
Even dodges out on the barrels and now looks for the inhibitor. If Splyce can't find Veritas, this game's done.
Nether Grasp is going to get needed if Sencux and Splyce want to win a fight, but I don't think they can. Move's in trouble, running for his life. Move might just drop to the poison, and he does. 5v4, Stand United is finished. Kobbe's trying to kill off the Super Minions, and 4 members of Unicorns pushing into the base. Super Minions coming in from middle, and now from top. A sidestep from the taunt, but it won't matter. Sencux gets dropped down by the autos of Vizicsacsi. Very good cocoon under the tower, but Chachi's still got GA, and he's still got tanky stats for days. Turns his attention back onto the Nexus turret. Now the 4-man Splyce unit, they're trying to defend. Veritas needs the support of the team. Will turn his attention to the inhibitor.
TP from Exileh comes in. Chachi comes in now as well. They want to finish this while they've still got Sencux in the respawn.
30 seconds before Sencux comes back up alive. Very good taunt onto Wunder. The second Nexus turret goes golden thanks to the Tempered Fate. A lot of autos coming down from Veritas. The Supers on the hunt. The Baron. Everything is being thrown at the base. The Nexus is being chunked down. And the Unicorns of Love will force one last game. That's the loudest I've heard the crowd all day. We had split UOL Splyce chants earlier. That sounds pretty unanimous to me.
Well, it was a unanimous game, and that one as well, because Unicorns just decided they wanted to win, and it was just like, we're just going to go for this. They got the early plays. They set Veritas up so that he could carry the rest of the game with this Karma. They had enough protection on it, the Shen as well.
Yeah.
And this first pick, Sivir, has put us into a best-of-1 situation to determine whether the Unicorns of Love or Splyce will go to the 2016 World Championships to represent Europe.
So many people, including myself, had Splyce pegged as the fairly strong favorites. On the condition they played to their strengths, on the condition that they, were in the game. It doesn't look like they are. However, the Unicorns in that game showed a much more measured approach. They made one mistake after they had that Baron and Veritas got caught out in the bottom lane. And I started panicking. I'm like, oh, they're going to do it again. But if you notice how the game played out for the next few minutes, they backed away. They were calm and collected. They regrouped. And then they finished very cleanly. And I think you have to give some praise to UOL for bouncing back from that chaotic 60-minute game.
Please ban Shen. Like, please. Like, Splyce in 3 games have not looked solid at all.
Yeah.
Like, they won game 3 from a Baron steal and then back-to-back even fights until they finally won the game. But think of the first 30 minutes of that game. Yep. And it was Unicorns all over Splyce. And the same thing in 3 games has happened. The GP Shen matchup. I do not want to see it again.
Let's find out if the analyst desk agrees, because the Unicorns of Love, they brought the series to game 5 against Splyce. What do you guys think of the Shen versus GP?
We don't agree. At least Crepo doesn't, because he says it is all about the AD carries and not about the top lane.
It's like the Shen versus GP matchup is fine if you just like you understand that the Shen is gonna beat it early, and Shen is a really strong pick for Unicorns. But the problem lies not in the Shen, it's just a reaction to also just if Splyce pick blue side for game 5 and if they pressure the Sivir in the picks and bans, I think they get a lot more. The problem is just that Splyce is not playing to their strengths. Like they have a Trundle counter pick for Shen. Mikyx is ulting Sivir in the late game. Like,
what were you gonna say?
He's trolling. He's really like.
Yeah,
we'll get back to that later.
Yeah, safe to say that Splyce is not on top of their game, but the Unicorns, credit to them, after that heartbreaking loss for them in game 3, they get an early lead and they managed to push it through.
It appears their mental is really insane. And after last game, it didn't really matter to them. And yeah, they just focused on the next one, and they played really well. And I think they just have better draft every game, and Splyce really needs to do something.
Yeah, it started off actually looking good for Splyce with the first plot, the gank in the top lane, where Move was playing Nidalee as well. 3 pushing lanes, playing Nidalee, you would expect him to outpace, but again, he goes for the very ganking-oriented style. It was really close. I think we have a replay of that too, of the first plot, how that went down. If we can get that on the screen, because it was interesting watching Move. Again, he's playing the same style on Nidalee, and then this is where they actually returned from mid lane, and he already fell behind from the earlier gank.
Yeah, he was very behind versus Elise, where he shouldn't be level 5 to level 6, and then he jumps in when he has nothing to do. Like, you have to know your limits. Like, if you cannot do anything there, you shouldn't just jump in and die. You have to, like, retreat and just leave it be, you know? You can't be aggressive all the time. You have to know your limits.
And at this point, I think the entire desk was, okay, Splyce just survived the rough part, which is like the 1 to 6. Like, sure, Unicorns can group very well, but they have, like, shown that they play well around Malzahar. Once these group fights start, they have Trundle as an answer, but it's just, it all started going down the drain.
Yeah, not gelling. Let's take a look at that other replay in the top lane. It reminded me of Game 3, where they also had this almost disastrous fight in top lane, but here it actually does go to the wayside.
And Freeze, you had a comment on Kobbe here as well, going to the portal.
So, when you play AD carry and you play with board, if you A-click, the A-click will randomly take you with the portal. So if you're next to a portal, you A-click, you get through it even though you don't want to. So you have to watch out for this, and that's why he accidentally clicked the portal and went in and died because of it. Most AD carries don't even know that, so just a little tip there. But
that's what's costing me all my elo. But I get off-rolled into AD carry because I go into Bard portals.
Bard did just as much damage as Nidalee in that game, just as an aside.
Oh, Bard is insane damage.
Insane.
So, going to the next game, Kikis. Splyce has chosen blue side. So, what is that? Do you want your prediction to come there?
No, I'm just like happy that they pick blue side because they have much more liberty. They don't have to worry about the Sivir. Like it basically costs a ban for the Unicorns, which is a Sivir ban.
And they already have so many champions to worry about, like Ryze, Kassadin, Vladimir, Shen. You can't ban everything. So, and if you're a blue side, you can pick it for yourself.
So what do you first pick, if it's open?
Like what they did the other game, they just first pick Rek'Sai, and it really feels like blue side fits them a lot better versus UOL, because there's just too much things to ban and take care of, that it's a lot better for them to go trade 3 picks for 2.
I feel also agreeing with the Rek'Sai, because if there's one pick that really punishes when it outpaces, I feel it's Rek'Sai. If you get an early Tiamat spike and you have like an extra CS lead because your team is good enough to dodge a gank on the first gank of Move, for example, then like you can really spiral ahead. Also, Splyce, despite having a really weird game 3, like they played it well because they were kiting so well in these fights, and the crux of that was always Trashy going for either an unbarrel or a flash unbarrel for 2-man, 3-man knockups that they then comboed into the GP pick. Because it's so likely that GP versus Shen is coming out again, because both these teams seem so comfortable on these matchups.
Yeah, very significant thing for them as well. If they get the Rek'Sai, they can play what Unicorns play. Like the Unicorns play aggressive everywhere, and then they have double TP, double global, and they always join S5. With Rek'Sai, you have a global as well. So if you make a play top lane, you can as well just TP bot lane and make a play right there. So that's like sort of counter for Unicorns.
But one of the things I wanted to track personally in the last game, because we always talk about Splyce, they don't tilt. They can always reset, and it doesn't seep into their play. But when I looked at Mikyx in particular, because he's one of the rookies, he was overextending a tier 1 tower, which led to him getting collapsed on. In that fight, he also overchased again. He pillared his own AD carry forward, indicating that he's actually smart casting in. From talking to him, he says, like, I smart cast everything, but a lot of Trundle players agree that, like, if you're struggling with your pillars, you should normal cast them. And then late game, he wasn't holding his ulti for the Shen, which is like the whole basis of the composition. I feel like the nerves are getting to Mikyx, so we need to track if he's going back to comfort pick Bard and how he performs, because he was the one that allowed Splyce to come back so many games earlier in the split too.
Yeah, and we were talking about those Mikyx stats from his evolution in the split as well. He died a lot often. He was in the leaderboard there, and then he pulled it back. But it seems that the nerves are getting to him, as you said. And let's talk about, just for both of these teams, there's so much at stake here. The Unicorns of Love, first time that they can get to Worlds, and they've never been closer, honestly. And then Splyce went all the way to the final from going to the promotion tournament and is now so close. So what will it come down to? Do you see someone in these both teams or in their entourage that has a clear, can be a clear favorite in terms of momentum and in terms of mental strength?
Well, watching 5 games of best of 5 is usually like the best experience how to know the team well. You could tell that Splyce, they have like very bad stress issues, and then you look at the Unicorns, after the game they lost, I felt like it's over for them because they will tilt, but then they just came back as a team together and they played super well and they didn't tilt at all.
Yeah, Kikis, you know Shippy very well, so.
Yeah, I feel like they have a really good momentum because last 2 games they got really ahead, and just because they lost the 3rd game, it doesn't really matter as much. And if they can keep doing that and make sure they don't throw the game again and have proper team comp, then I don't see them losing.
Their drafts have been excellent.
Their drafts have been fantastic.
Yep.
So one last time, gentlemen, does anyone want to change their votes? Unicorns of Love right there and 2 Splyces. Take it or leave it.
I don't know. Trashy should just dumpster move. Like this guy is still doing a lot of
Splyce
things wrong.
votes, TLDR.
Yeah.
All right, that's Splyce.
All sticking to the guns, and I assume
Yeah.
you will be sticking
Yeah.
to your guns as well. We're going to see. We are going to recall and regroup, and when we come back, we will have the one game to decide it all. Who will be the 3rd European representative at Worlds? We'll find out after the break. Bring on the Silver Scrapes.
Or will the young upstarts of Splyce debut on the international stage over the Unicorns of Love?
Level 6
Sencux
GP.
gets pounced on. Here comes a cannon barrage. Move is the target. First blood to Wunder.
Lucian, no summoners. Nice, I'm coming. Can you run here?
1 second, 2 second shield.
I have it. Hey, come. Okay, nice.
Taking on Malzahar.
Hylissang's going toe-to-toe. It's a portal combat with Mikyx, but Mikyx going to come
they
away with
tagged
a win.
Sencux.
Sencux is in trouble. He flashes into the team, gets dropped down. Splyce might get ace. The Supers on the hunt. The Baron. Everything is being thrown at the base. And the Unicorns of Love will force one last game.